Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to another episode of New Music Finds number 32. So this is where I like to collect together all the new music that I've purchased over the past week and present it to you. And I get it from local record stores, but also online retailers like Amazon, eBay, and more. And for this past week, I've got 6 new releases to go through with you, and it breaks down as 2 new releases, 1 import, 1 reissue, and 2 catalog releases. But before we dive into all that, if you are new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by subscribing, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this with New Music Finds, episode number 32. And so, as I said, we've got 6 new releases to go through here, and kicking off, we'll start with brand new releases as we always do. So from September 24th, Friday, September 4th, or 24th, this past Friday here, Ringo Starr, Change the World. This one here, second EP release that he's done recently. This one here, 4 songs on it. The first one that he did was this one here, Zoom In, that came out a few months back. So nice that he is keeping us in new music through the pandemic. He decided to keep himself busy and record a few tracks at a time and put it out, and I'm certainly welcoming that. I would like it as a full album. I do prefer when I can listen to all the music together in a nice long sitting, as opposed to these shorter albums. This one here, only 13 minutes long, but it's good stuff, and I am glad to get something every few months from him in that regard. So the 4 tracks that are on this breakdown is 3 new songs and 1 cover song. And the cover song, Rock Around the Clock, I didn't think I was going to like. I was kind of a little disappointed that I heard that that was included here. But I have to say, Ringo Starr did an excellent version of this. It's got a personal tie to him. It was something that while he was recovering from an illness back when he was a kid, first chance when he got out of the hospital and he went to see a movie, this song was in it, and it just bowled him over. It was something that blew his mind, and so he wanted to put it on one of his own albums. So I get that. Pretty cool. Part of that song, we've got Joe Walsh on it from the Eagles, and he certainly, does his best to really rock that up and make that sound great. But Ringo also played it with drumsticks as opposed to brushes the original way, so that was kind of cool. And all, it just really impressed me and changed my opinion of that track. And then with the 3 new tracks, you got a lot of great stuff there. You've also got some great guests on this. As I mentioned, Joe Walsh, but we've got Steve Lukather, Joseph Williams of Toto guesting, Linda Perry of the Four Non Blondes, so a lot of cool stuff like that. Out of the 2 EPs that he's released, I have to say I am definitely enjoying this one the most out of these. And I'll just show you the booklet real quick on it. Not a lot with it, but a really cool kind of coloration on this and what's been done. And then it just opens up and you get the lyrics and who plays on it and that sort of stuff. But there you go, really cool Ringo Starr release if you're a Beatles fan, and if not, there's some cool guests on there you can check out. All right, so the next new release goes to Grinder Blues, El Dos, second studio album from these guys, and the reason I'm a fan of this is Doug Pinnick of King's X is in the lineup, so really cool stuff there from him. If you're waiting for that new solo album that's getting ready to come out shortly, and or that long gestating King's X album, here's something from Doug Pinnick you can be checking out in the meantime. And so, as I mentioned, that's their second studio album. They did have one earlier. Here's the first one, Doug there in the middle. And I wasn't expecting to really dig this. As the title says, it is blues music, but it's rocked up blues. I definitely enjoy blues rock, but don't really enjoy straight blues. And so I was kind of on the fence about this. But I picked up that first release, and it really kind of bowled me over as to how good it was. And so I went ahead and picked up this second one here, and I have to say it did the same thing. And listening to it, each track just got better and better. So it was one of those things that I thought I would just enjoy because of Doug Pinnick, but I actually really enjoyed the music in it. And if you're a Doug Pinnick fan, do check it out. But if you like good blues rock, I would also recommend checking out Grinder Blues. Some good stuff there. So the next thing here is another new release, but it comes as an import. I couldn't get it here in the US, so I imported it from the UK. Came out on August 20th. Actually didn't find out about it right away until about a week or so back, and then I ordered. It took a little bit to get to me, which is why I'm reviewing it now. Flock of Seagulls, String Theory. So very cool release where they are recording their hits with an orchestra. And so you've probably seen some of these other ones out. This label, if you're not familiar with them, August Day, cool label, has been doing this. I think they're a German label, but their thing is taking these bands from the 80s and recording their music with an orchestra. And so there's one out for the Cutting Crew in Berlin. I think there's some other ones out as well. Definitely good stuff. Really enjoyed this series that they've been doing, this one here with Flock of Seagulls. So previously they did an album of hits with the orchestra, and then they stripped it away and you just got an orchestrated release. Then they took that and did remixes of it. So they did a bunch of versions of things, but we're finally getting another new album of their songs done with the orchestra. So all new ones here, not repeated on the previous ones. So if you've got any of those, you can pick this up and know that you're getting something new with it. But really good stuff. I do recommend it if you're interested in that sort of stuff. I've been really kind of getting into that idea of the orchestra with bands sort of thing. Like Udo from Accept did an album with an orchestra. Just great stuff. I really seem to be liking that lately. Of course, we know Metallica did it with S&M and stuff. So it's, you know, kind of all the rage, right? All right, next one goes to, or is a reissue, but also a new release that just came out. Golden Earring, and we'll actually turn it this way and we'll open it up to show you the full release, which I really like the way they did. So this one here, Moontan, really great album by Golden Earring, 1973 album that they put out. So, you know, been out for some time here. Great Dutch rock band if you're not familiar with them. 9th studio album, but you might know them in a roundabout sort of way, kind of the way that I first learned about them, which is the song Radar Love. And that's what's on this one here and why I picked this one up. But I knew it from the band White Lion covering it in the late 80s on their album Big Game. Love that song. They had a fair hit with it there. And, you know, so loving that song and then finding out who it was and then going back and realizing, you know, Golden Earring. And I knew Golden Earring from the song Twilight Zone, which was an 80s hit for them. So kind of cool. It had, you know, big hit in the 70s and then some more hits throughout the years, but in the US, Twilight Zone in the 80s. So I wanted to check this out. This one had been proving hard to find, but they finally got these reissues. So this is a 2-disc reissue. You can see the first disc there and the second disc here. Lots of great stuff on it. The first disc, the album itself has 6 tracks, but then it adds 6 bonus songs on it of single issues, different version, alternate takes, stuff like that. And then the second disc has 9 more songs on it called the Moontan Session. So you get that and just a really cool packaging to go along with it. And it's got a really great booklet here. I'll thumb through just a little bit to let you see, because you guys know I like, you know, ones that have cool photos and write-ups and stuff like that in it, of which this one itself has some great write-ups and stuff, and then track listing and things of that nature. So very cool stuff. Do recommend it. Certainly if you know the song Radar Love, the whole album is really good. But if also just if you're a fan of Golden Earring, this reissue is really good. Okay, and then I also picked up 2 catalog albums, things I was just doing to flesh out my catalog of, or my releases collection, and so to speak. So I've got 2 of these. Rod Stewart, Out of Order from 1988. Really great album. Just one I didn't have in the collection. It had been kind of also proving hard to get. It seems to come and go in and out of print. I think it's currently out of print. This was a secondhand marketplace reseller kind of a thing. 15th studio album, but the reason I was interested in it was not just for the hit songs that are on it, like Lost in You and Forever Young, which both went to number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it's because it's recorded and co-written with Andy Taylor of Duran Duran. So I'm a fan of Duran Duran. I like Andy Taylor's solo work. So when I found out that he had worked with Rod Stewart, it made me want to check out the sort of the whole picture here, not just knowing those hits, which I have on greatest hits packages and stuff like that. I really wanted to hear the whole album, and I have to say I'm not disappointed. This whole album turned out to be really great, and I'm glad I finally got it in my collection. All right, and the next one here, kind of the same thing. Slash's self-titled debut solo album came out in 2010. This one here follow-up from 2 releases that he did with Slash's Snake Pit. You can see those behind me there. But those were as a band effort, so this was the first real solo effort that he had done. And he has a lot of guest vocalists doing the different tracks with them. And you get some cool singers like Ian Astbury of The Cult, Ozzy Osbourne, Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, Lemmy from Motorhead, Iggy Pop, and so many other great artists. You've even got Myles Kennedy on 2 tracks. So of course, Slash would then form the band Slash featuring Myles Kennedy and the Conspirators. So that's a band separate, really, from being solo releases like this here. And so I had a box set of this, and it came with bonus stuff, and it was good to have for that reason, but I didn't really care for the packaging on it, so I was glad to finally get this as a jewel case, the original way it was intended to be, and have it in the collection. But one of the reasons I'd kind of passed it over originally is that I found that with the different vocalists, as opposed to it sounding like a Slash album, with the different vocalists, it ended up taking on more of a tone of those artists' bands, and so it doesn't really sound like a Slash solo album. To me, it sounds more like these other artists, and it kind of is disjunctive in the way, hearing all these different bands, so to speak, on it. And so I felt like it was more like Slash was guesting with these artists as opposed to it being the other way around. It's good to have, though, in the collection nonetheless, and I do really, really enjoy the opening track, Ghost, with Ian Astbury. To me, that is the most GNR sort of sounding track, where Slash's guitar work really stands out on that one, maybe more so than any others on here. So it's probably why it's the first track. But there you go. That is New Music Finds, episode number 32. 6 releases for you guys there. Hopefully that inspired some things for you guys, maybe to go out and check. Certainly do check the description for links to related videos. In particular, I did a full review of that first Ringo Starr EP, Zoom In. If you want to check that out, any Beatles fans out there, you might be interested in that. And otherwise, do consider sharing this video out on social media. Help spread the word that way. I would also appreciate that. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.